I was supposed to meet the flooring company out here at 9 a.m. sharp. It's 10 o'clock. I've been here for an hour. Nobody showed up yet. So that's what it looks like out in the front. I don't see no flooring company. But during that time, I've managed to uncover the concrete driveway. And you can walk on it now. And take about 7 or 8 days to be able to drive on it. But that's what that looks like. Also in this utility room, I've started putting together some sheetrock. I'm just using scrap pieces I have, so I didn't have a whole 4-foot piece. It was cut off on one side and cut off on the other. And I think the other piece that I got out there is even fucking smaller than that, so it's probably going to take 3 pieces to do that one wall. And 2 or 3 pieces to do that little short piece of wall. Just to be a little extra tape joints in there, but you know that if I don't use it up, then I gotta haul it off. Fucking so I mean I could go get nice new sheetrock, but it's just a utility room, and when I get done with it, it'll be just as good as if I went and got new shit, and then I'd get stuck with the scrap stuff. So that's where I am on this. Also, in here, I went on and just filled a little hole that was in the floor from a cable where there used to be a wall with some wood filler. And that's my piece of floor that I put in that cuts down from a regular size piece of flooring down to 1 7/8 inches. Because when they went that way from the wall doing the flooring in that room, they flipped it around on this side of the wall and went this way, and there was a difference. So I had to rip a piece. So the fucking eyeball that shit on the fucking table saw, but when it's all sanded down, hopefully it'll fucking look decent and blend right on in with the rest of the shit some kind of way. I don't know. All I can do is put this shit down, and then if it's up to the sanding people, the flooring company, to come in and blend that in and make sure that it's not a standout in the middle of the floor from all the rest of the shit. Also, it looks like there was a burn in the floor right there from when they fucking had a wood stove in here. So hopefully that doesn't go too deep. And we had to go through here and fucking plug up holes and shit from the old radiators and shit like that. And there were fucking cable lines, 2 or 3 on each wall. So I guess they moved the TV around a lot in here. There's only been a couple of tenants in here since I've known about this house. But and there's one right there. There was 2 right there. Another one over there. One right there. Goddamn. There's one right there. And one right there. So there's been a lot of different ideas on where the TV should be sitting in this room. So, but that's what you get when you get an old house like this. You don't never know what the fuck people are gonna do, where shit's gonna be at. And it wasn't just that room. There's cable holes in the floors everywhere in all the fucking rooms. All over the damn place. There's one right there. Look, one right there. One right there. We filled some of them. There was one right there. One right there. I mean, that's just one little bedroom, you know. And these motherfuckers wanted to be here at 8 o'clock this morning. And we convinced them to come in here. Look, there was a cable line there. Another one right there. I was gonna say that's a cable line, but that's a big old nasty spot. Wolf spider. Hope you don't get stranded today, huh? And cable lines everywhere. But so anyway, they wanted to come in at 8 we was like, no, we're not gonna be there till 9:30, and it was like, well, let's compromise and be here at 9. Here it is fucking after 10, and there's no flooring company. Nobody showed up yet. So I'm just gonna keep on doing what I gotta do. That's why I fucking hurried up yesterday and got that damn mirror put in, because I knew that once they start sanding and polyurethane and all this shit, I wasn't gonna be able to access this room right here. So anyway, the mirror got put up, bathroom's done, and we'll see what they do on the floor. If they do a good job on this, they'll be the first ones I've seen. There's some company out of Hampton, I think. Or it could be a local one right down the street here. But every time we go to see a floor that somebody has fucking redone the floor, whatever, it looks like shit. You see drag marks, puddled up places in the floor, dull spots, holidays. Yeah. And the last guy's house we went into, he's like, I think it looks good. How he was blind in one eye and couldn't halfway see out the other eye. He had to put his phone about 3 inches from his face with a pair of bifocals on to see what the screen said. And he thought it looked good. He's the only one that I've seen that fucking, Tony's the only one that I've seen that thought his floor turned out nice. All the rest of them, they could see it and knew the deal. So they don't want the local companies coming in here to do this shit. So I've not dealt with this company in particular. So they might come in here and fucking surprise me. And you know what? If they do a good job and it looks good, then by rule of thumb, I'll keep their number and I'll pass it on every time somebody, one of my customers, asks if I know someone that refinishes floors. Then I'll give them that number. And I used to do it, but it's so much bullshit I don't even want to fool with it no more. So I hung up my floor sanding equipment and decided that I was going to pursue other avenues to make money, like putting down tile floors and building walls, taking shit down. Everything but that. That's the only thing I don't really fuck with. Floors, sanding floors and shit. I just don't like doing it. I did it in my house and a couple other people's houses. It came out great. But just like anything else, in particular, when you're doing a floor, it takes attention to detail. And so far, these local companies around here, even the big one, the biggest company around here, I'm not going to mention their name, but everybody in town knows who they are because everybody uses them. They have no attention to detail, and they fuck up the floor every time they do it. So hopefully they'll show up, because they're standing in between me and getting in here and putting down shoe molding, which I got to do in the whole house. And I got to do some last-minute touch-ups. And we're hoping to get the fucking house on the market next week. And it's going to take a week and a half before people can really come in here and walk on it. So they need to get in here and get the shit done. Or it's going to hold up the real estate agent, the homeowner that's selling the house, and me, the contractor that's working in here. Everybody's going to be held up because they don't fucking come in here and do what they're supposed to do. So we'll see. And it's another thing too, when you say you're going to be somewhere at a certain time, it's a big deal when you show up, when you're on time, when you're supposed to show up. And if you don't show up when you're not going to come, when you say you're going to come, you need to call somebody and tell them and let them know. That's being dependable. And dependable is a big fucking, a big plus in this business. I hear it all the time. I don't want them motherfuckers coming back over here to my house and shit because they didn't show up, they ain't called, they came 2 or 3 hours late and didn't show up on time. They didn't call me, I had something to do, I had somewhere to go. I'm sitting around here fucking waiting for them to show up or whatever. And they come rolling in around half the middle of the day or something, and they do a little bit of fucking work or whatever and cut off early and shit like that. Or they'll wait till the end of the day, in the middle of the day, and they'll call and say, oh, well, we can't make it today. How about tomorrow? And then sometimes they'll call back the next day. Oh, we can't make it today. We'll be over here next week. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. When I tell somebody I'm going to be somewhere at a certain time, I'm 5 or 10 minutes early. You know, when somebody calls me and they want me to come look at a job, if I'm somewhere nearby, they'll be like, when can you come by and look at the job? I'll say, oh, well, I'll be there in 10 minutes. And they're like, damn, really? So not used to that. And that's the way it ought to be. You know, when the economy's good and when people are making money. I remember this back before the recession in '08 when people were making money hand over fist, right? You would call somebody up, a homeowner would call somebody up to do a smaller job. Maybe it wasn't a big paying job. And they couldn't find nobody to do it. They were picking and choosing the jobs they were doing according to the money they were making, you know. So that means they might have been making more money, but they weren't building a reputation. So when the recession came and when people were calling, they all went out of business. They couldn't afford to keep rolling. They had a lot of overhead. They were paying payments on their equipment, and they ended up having to go out of business. And now there were 17 of them. I think 6 of them in town made it. The local, I was one of them. Because I don't owe anything. I pay for all my shit with cash. I don't have no credit cards or nothing. I pay. If I can't buy it with cash, then I don't buy it. And I'm dependable. I show up on time. When I tell somebody I'm going to do something, I do it the way I would do it at my house. I'm honest. I don't lie about shit. I don't take shortcuts. I mean, there's been some shortcuts taken in this house, but it was against my recommendation. I had already started making this video, and the shit blinked out and said, your storage is full. All 64 gigabytes of your storage is full. And I was unaware that all along I've been making videos in 4K. And that takes up a lot of storage. So I had to go back in and delete a bunch of shit and move it over to an SD card to free up enough. So that first part of the video got cut off. But anyway, it's about 10:30 now, and the flooring company showed up about an hour and 20 minutes late. So they're in there sanding the floor down now, and I'm going to go on and put this fucking sheetrock up out here in this fucking shit pile. And try to cover up the shit pile a little bit and make it look less shit pile-ish. You know, the bottom of this wall in here rotted out, and I had to fucking rebuild it, reframe it, and put some sheetrock up. And that whole floor was wet, and it's still fucking getting dry from the rain and everything. So go figure that this is the culprit. Somebody built a flower bed along that wall. There's nowhere for the water to drain out. The water comes down off that roof, fills that flower bed up, and it waterlogs the flower bed, and all that moisture seeps through the foundation of that brick right there, because it's nothing but brick. There's nothing but brick in between the there and the inside, brick and sheetrock. So there's your fucking water problem right there. So you gotta dig all that shit out and either tear this motherfucker out and put some drain holes in it, or fucking put some Drylock against that and seal it up. So that's where we're at. That's what that is. A clusterfuck. So now the floors are all sanded down, and they put the walnut stain. You can kind of see it in that room right there. But I can't walk in there and get a good video of it because it's a clean zone. You can't walk on it because everything's been immaculately vacuumed and cleaned up, so that it'll be ready once that stain dries to come back in here tomorrow and put the polyurethane on it. So, and then nobody can walk on it for a while after that. And I also went on and decided to go ahead on and fucking sand all this shit down and paint it inside this utility room. So I sand all that down and paint it. And I'm gonna put a gray floor paint out here and in there to try to make that room look a little better. I'm also going to put some Drylock in that hole right there where it's saturated and waterlogged. I already put some of the trim on that door over there, so that opening around the big door is ready to be painted. I put the brick molding on that, but I cut the bottom pieces out, and I want to make them in the morning, so they'll be ready to be put in. I'm going to have to let that thing dry out a little bit and then put Drylock on it and seal it up so that the water that gets in there can't back up and saturate the floor in here. And then when that's done, I'll be able to put that dirt back in there. Also, I'm going to stop and get some more paint so I can paint this shit up here, and a small bag of grass seed to plant some grass in the front up against the house where there was mulch at. Mulch was in a place where it wasn't supposed to be at. So that's where we're at now so far at the end of this restoration day. A little view from outside of a window of the walnut stain on the floors. Still can't fucking get a very good look at it because it's still a damn window. So I guess you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. There's the living room floor. Dining room floor. Back bedroom. The other one. See if we can zoom up on it a little bit. Yeah. That's a dark walnut. It's just going to have to fucking wait till the end of the shit to be able to get a good view of it. So I'm gonna hit, it's 4:30, so I'm gonna hit the trail and take my own shit up to the shop to get some brakes and everything. So y'all have a good day. Subscribe to Get Go TV, and if you go back and look, there's about 61 more videos before this one of this restoration that we've been doing all the way back to when it was a shit pile. And so you can go back and watch those if you're just joining or if you're continuing on. I appreciate y'all looking at this shit every day. So subscribe to the channel. If you got any questions, leave a comment, hit the like button. I'll answer your questions, or you can email me at peninsulaimp@gmail.com. That's in the channel description. Also, I got 400 other uploaded videos on YouTube of cooking and fucking just all kinds of crazy shit. There's something for everybody. So y'all have a good day and stay tuned tomorrow for day 63 of the house renovation.